drive yourself to the theater for this great new movie starring Ford. It's Ford and Ferrari. That's the title. Drive to it.
I mean, really, families should all pop into their Ford Explorer and go to the theater.
Explore the theater.
There you go. Yeah.
This really revved my engine.
Oh. Yeah, it did. It really boosts up those RPMs on your heart rate.
Christian Bale bailed the hay of my heart in this movie.
Matt Damon.
Matt. Yes. There's no pun for you, Matt Damon, just Matt Damon.
But yes, we got to go see a screening of Ford versus Ferrari last night.
Oh, I'm loving these early screenings, by the way.
This was outstanding.
Yeah. Bored and annoyed. That's what we are. This is an episode.
And
this is a review episode.
Over there is Home at the Movies.
And across the table from me is Jackson.
And yeah, we saw Ford versus Ferrari, and I think we both thought it was great.
It was fantastic.
It was amazing.
I cannot believe, it's really funny watching this movie. Do you want to do the simple rundown on this?
Yeah, so apparently in the 60s, I don't know the backstory. I'm not a big car guy.
Sure.
I mean, just admittedly. But in the 60s, Ford was kind of failing. They were getting boring. They're the assembly line cars. There's not much like design, pop to what they're doing. Kind of been doing the same thing for a long time. And they have a marketing guy who basically comes to Henry Ford and says, hey, we need to look at Ferrari as an example. They go out and they win Le Mans every year. And he shows a slideshow of pictures of these fucking fantastic sporty looking cars.
Yep.
And this is what we should do. And basically he uses kind of the fact that Ferrari thinks that Henry Ford's kind of a jackass to get Henry Ford to kind of out of spite, I'm going to win this thing.
Right.
So he hires a team to design a race car that can beat Ferrari.
Yep. Matt Damon's one of the designers on the car. And,
yeah, he's the main. He plays Shelby, who the Shelby Cobra was designed by him.
Yep.
And Christian Bale is the hothead driver of the car.
And the thing about this movie that just blows me away is the fact that Christian Bale got me forgetting about Joaquin Phoenix in The Joker.
Yes, literally.
I was like, give the man the Oscar.
Dude, the best actor category is stacked this year.
I just love at the end of the year when we start thinking, I feel like we say that every year because we're like, wow, look at that performance. But yes, you're right.
It's insane.
Yes.
I mean, Christian Bale easily, I can't argue. If somebody said that was the best performance of the year so far, I can't argue with them.
I mean, it's between that and Joaquin.
I mean, or I would say Robert Pattinson in The Lighthouse is up there.
I think he was good, but he's not going to get nominated.
No, for us, though.
Oh, for us? I still would put probably the other two over him. He's still great in the movie.
I don't know, because he's fucking great. And fucking in that movie, I mean, are they both just supporting actors because they're both so good?
Right.
But yeah, Christian Bale's amazing in this.
I can't believe it.
He was the best part of this movie. Easily.
You know what? And the thing is it's one of those things, part of it is okay, let's talk about stuff other than him, which is, I love something about just the look. It captures the look of the time in the really sort of nostalgic, warm, makes you feel good about America way.
Yeah. Well, and it does. And it also points out you're rooting for Ford, but it's also run like a dirty, dumb corporation.
Yes.
There's a lot of commentary on that. I did. I really liked it, but you still want them to win. I didn't hate Henry Ford in this. There is a cartoon character villainous type, which I usually can't stand.
Who is the head of Ferrari? Because I didn't,
Italian dude.
I didn't dislike him because I really saw his point of view, like this fucking arrogant American coming in, 100%. Being a fucking asshole.
No, and dude, like we can't get into spoilers, but it's really fucking good. It's got really, it was funny because I was thinking about the pod race during this.
Yes.
And I was thinking about the difference in watching the pod race and watching the races in this movie, because they are designed, like, it's not that George Lucas or that scene itself isn't built correctly. It's that there's not enough shit for you to give a fuck about before that scene starts.
Yes.
Because there's a lot of things that were like, oh, this is just, I know exactly what's going to happen here.
He does kind of nail, like, this is James Mangold, director of Logan. Yeah. Yep. He really does kind of nail the racing scenes, but that's not the stuff that necessarily shines the most. But like, I thought a few times, I was like, I can't believe this guy kind of found some new ways to film racing and keep it intriguing.
Right.
It is a sports movie, though. It's got a sports movie formula, and that's a tried and true formula.
I had a funny thought as well, because there were a couple people in our screening who like either laughed obnoxiously or like clapped, but I kind of understood it. Yeah. Like during some of the racing scenes, like, yeah, like cheering, like you want to cheer.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? It's so well done.
People actually, I mean, it's one of those times where people actually clapped in the theater. And I'm like, you know what? Outside of Marvel movies, I don't see that a whole lot.
It deserves a clap.
Parasite, when I walked out of Parasite, people were clapping at the end of Parasite.
Well deserved, I would say.
But this, I mean, people were clapping, and it's just...
It was like they were rooting for their sports team.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, the thing is you like Christian Bale's character so much that it's like, and he endears you to him almost immediately.
Right. He's a hothead, but he's not like a complete prick.
No. And I saw a little bit of like how I deal with life in him. I think anybody who's got a little bit of a temper sees themselves in him. And you know what? Like they kind of like, they play this angle of like, will he be a team player or will he be in it for himself? And they kind of make both seem like decent options.
It was funny to me that, I don't know if he ever was completely in it for himself, though. That's what was interesting. It was almost like, how does this guy deal with this reputation that he has that he doesn't really deserve?
Does he not deserve?
I mean, he's kind of a prickish at the beginning, but I don't know. He was never hateable. It was never
he was never hateable. I think it's the idea that people cannot be hateable. I think it's also something very different to interact with that person versus watch that person in a movie. Because I have been told that I can be abrasive.
Yeah, you're a pain, and I fucking hate you.
Most people do. But, it's one of those things where it's like, but if he's really good at this thing, like, it's kind of like the skill overtakes, the personality. And I'm like, you know what? I think that's sort of, I don't know. I looked at him and like, he had this, like, it's about like doing what you love, which is great.
Yes.
And I loved it. It's kind of like it is, but it's also like embrace who you are.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? I am, as the children say, 100% that bitch.
I would also say this movie is about friendship.
Yes.
Between two people that are quite different.
Yeah.
But they're both awesome.
They were,
Matt Damon's character, like, was a driver before, but he's got a heart valve problem, and if his blood pressure hits a certain level, there's a chance that he could just have a heart attack and die.
Yeah.
So that's kind of his character, and how does he deal with that? And he was great, too. I mean, I don't mean to take anything away from him, because I liked him, but Christian Bale was just...
Well, Christian Bale is Oscar worthy. Matt Damon was a really good performance.
Yes. And so likable too.
Yes.
And it was tough for him. Like, and they played that well to where you kind of were upset with him at a couple points for his loyalty issues, but at the same time, it's like, what the fuck else is he supposed to do?
Yep.
Kind of had the Lando Calrissian thing going on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Very much so.
Yeah.
Very much so.
So,
you know what I loved was the beginning of this movie. It's not spoilers, but the beginning of this movie felt like the end of his movie.
Totally.
I loved that. I was like, wow, I'm getting catharsis at the beginning of this movie.
Yeah.
Like he's got a little like monologue, overlay while he's driving, and you're like, this is the end of a movie.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
I was like, that was crazy to me. I was like, James Mangold, hats off for thinking of that.
Dude, I was astounded by how awesome all the racing shit was. I mean, there were parts where like pulse pounding action, like type shit. Where
there was really cool music.
Every time
in
they were
too.
taking a turn, you were like, "Ooh, God, this looks scary." And they really hit that home.
Yeah.
Where it's like people don't understand how fucking terrifying and ballsy this job is.
Yes.
That these racers do.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
even, you know, and they make a jab at NASCAR, but even like those fucking guys.
Yeah.
Like they're going 200 fucking miles an hour. They
Yeah.
have to hit the brakes and go into a turn at like slowly at like 150.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you ever get in your car and floor it, it's scary, you know.
Yes.
Like, especially being the jackass class D driver's license guy I am.
Right.
They nailed that shit.
Yes.
You know, so.
I was floored because I was looking forward to the movie because it was getting good reviews and I like both of the actors. But as far as like a topic, I'm like, I don't know, like I could take or leave this. But to walk out and be like, that shit's fucking awesome. Those dudes are fucking heroes. Like, they're not heroes, but you know what I mean. And like,
they feel like heroes. And
then there was the part of me too where I was like, this shouldn't be a thing. We shouldn't be doing this.
Bullshit. It's awesome.
I was like, driving for 24 hours? No.
Well, they get little naps.
They get little naps. Well, you know, they didn't quite, like when Matt Damon's selling it earlier in the movie, they don't quite tell you like, oh, you got naps and stuff. Like they don't quite tell you that.
That's true.
But when they were describing it, I was like, how? What? And then when it blew my mind. I was like, this should never be a thing. We're asking people to basically go and kill themselves for our amusement.
It's crazy, man.
They
love it though.
It was
you could
insane.
never get them to stop doing it. And there was a lot of that too, where it's
You're
like
gonna
Christian
hate me
Bale's
for this
trying
thought, though.
Oh, what is that?
It's the liberal part of me where I'm like, you know what? This is such a goddamn waste of gas.
It's not though.
It's
the best use of gas.
If we could find a way for it to be if we could find a way for it to be eco-friendly,
electric car racing.
Could
happen.
That's all I really care about because it's actually a really fucking cool thing.
The batteries take there's a lot of shit that goes into building batteries that people don't think about.
It's gotta be
batteries.
Right. No, I would rather it be like solar power.
Just have them run. Have them run the race. Should be just as exciting.
We'll strap explosives to everybody, so like we'll still get.
They should carpool the Le Mans.
It was kind of amazing. Like,
it is.
Did we give a grade? Like,
I would give it an A.
B plus, A minus.
I think it was an A. I thought it was great. I loved it.
I don't know where I'm at.
There's too many A's coming out lately. That's the problem.
Well, that's the problem.
Your curve is getting all fucked up because you feel like every goddamn movie has to be.
That's the problem. That's where I'm at. Is like I don't want to feel like I'm just like this Pollyanna piece of shit. Just A, everything's an A.
Dude, you cannot understate or overstate how awesome the movies have been lately.
Yeah.
It cannot be overstated.
It's been really
crazy.
It
is a golden time to go to the movies.
And nobody's going to see them.
Hopefully this one does well. You know, it's got the star power. Is that enough nowadays,
It's not, though.
I feel like that's a topic for another show.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, because that is interesting. If this doesn't make money.
Bored and Annoyed with the Stars.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a very deceptive title.
But no, I thought that this was fucking awesome. And this is a movie made for mass appeal.
Yes.
Everyone's going to enjoy this. It's funny. It's got good drama in it.
Yeah.
It's it's got the archetypical hero's journey type plot line to it.
Yeah.
It's fucking great. I thought it was great.
I really did kind of love it. You know what? I'm an A.
Yeah, it was. I mean,
God damn it.
It's one of the best movies of the year.
It's so, yeah. This is.
I mean, I have trouble finding a nitpick. It would be Josh Lucas's character playing the same character he plays in everything,
right,
as the cartoony guy. But even that didn't get to me because this isn't like A Star Is Born where you're literally like killing someone, like, and you're just the evil agent who will force the character to kill himself.
Oh boy,
you know, that's a little bit more ridiculous to me. But this guy. There's one of this character in most of these types of movies. And half the time it's played by Josh Lucas.
Well, and there's also the aspect of these dudes exist.
Right.
They absolutely exist.
And it's what I mean, where I get annoyed is like this guy, if he's based on a real person, because this is based on a true story, but I'm not taking any of this as,
right,
you know, how it actually happened. But if there's a guy like this, it's like, he probably has like a family and he's like a normal guy, but they just they turn him into the caricature of this corporate empty suit guy.
Well,
right?
and he could be loving, great father.
Exactly.
But you know what? Doesn't change the fact that he was maybe a prick at work, you know?
But there's some great bits in this. There's a bit involving him that's great. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. This is one everyone should go see. This is one where I don't care what you're into. Everyone's into a movie like this.
Every time that Christian Bale was on the screen, I had a smile on my face.
Every line was hilarious, and it's partly his accent, but
it's just like it was his cavalier attitude to pissing people off.
Yeah.
And just speaking his mind literally at all times. It's one of those things where...
And being so funny that none of the characters could hate him for doing it.
Yes. And I loved the Matt Damon has, or I think he had a little bit of a line where he's talking about like working with Ford. And he's like, you really think that they're going to let you make your car? And, you know, like he starts like, and he's like, you know, because they have to, you know, this guy has to report to his boss and he wants to make his boss happy and he wants to make his boss happy and he wants to make his boss happy. And you know what? And they hate themselves for it. But you know who they hate more? It's guys like you. Because they don't have to. And I was like, you know what? This is the most fucking true thing.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
That's some of the greatest stuff in cinema is when somebody boils down a universal truth or a societal truth into an entertaining scene or an entertaining character.
Right.
That I was endeared to his character.
The movie was fucking awesome.
He's one of my favorite characters of the year. Period.
Easily.
Just, yeah. Maybe the best character of the year.
God, you're really waffling today.
You're
really all over the place today.
Well, I mean, like, as a movie, it's really good. As a performance, he was flat out amazing.
Yes, I loved it. I thought it was amazing. I can't wait to see it again.
Yeah.
It's one of those where I'm excited, like, you know, to tell people to go see it. And,
yeah.
You know, like we're doing right now.
Go see it.
Go see it.
Absolutely. Okay, go see this.
After you've seen Parasite, Jojo Rabbit, Dr. Sleep, or before. Just make sure you see all this stuff.
Those four. Wasn't there a fifth?
There is, but I can't remember what it is.
It's clearly the worst.
Lighthouse. The Lighthouse. But you might not be into that sort of thing, listener. I mean, you know what I mean? That's more for the weirdos, but...
Yeah, this and Jojo Rabbit and Dr. Sleep all should be doing better than they are. Well, actually, we don't know how this is doing because it's not out yet.
It's going to do well.
Hopefully.
It's made $0. It's not doing well.
The failing Ford v Ferrari.
Yeah.
Anyways, the failing.
That was great.
It was great. Thank you for listening. We've been bored and annoyed with reviews.
No.
With this review.
With Ford and Ford. See, you fucked it up.
But we're not.
You thought we were doing the same episode.
No.
You ended the wrong
But it's the bored
episode.
and annoyed with reviews. Don't we have like a subtitle one? Bored and annoyed reviews?
Bored and annoyed reviews.
B&A reviews.
Ford versus Ferrari.
Whatever.
Spoiler free.
Spoiler free. Revved up my engine.
Yeah, I really revved my engine.
Torqued me all over the corners. Need new brakes. Fuck.